It is Blue Friday, which is the day before the Iron Bowl. Welcome to Village Vice. He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law, and we love wordplay here on this show. We also love the greatest rivalry in college football. And Zach, how you feeling, man? A day away from Auburn, Alabama, 2023, Jordan-Hare Stadium. How you feeling?
I wish I felt more confident about this game now than I did a week ago or even just a few days ago. And that's not really how I feel. In fact, the more I watch Alabama stuff, the more I realize how good of a football team this is. And I think if Auburn's going to pull this off, and this has been the key talking point throughout the week on whatever Auburn show you watch or listen to, is it's Auburn's going to have to rely on some crazy stuff to happen. I mean, I think that's it, point blank. And like you look at the Egg Bowl last night, Mississippi State did a great job of keeping Ole Miss off the scoreboard for a while. Auburn's going to have to do that, and their offense is going to have to do more than what Mississippi State's was able to do in the Egg Bowl, which is a no-brainer, but it is nice to see, like, okay, other teams were able to pull this off, so, you know, or at least put themselves in a situation in the second half to be able to pull this off.
Yeah.
That's what Auburn's going to have to do. They're going to have to have a better game plan. They're going to have to play out of their minds, and Jordan-Hare Stadium's magic is going to have to help them some.
It is the environment. We talked about it earlier in the week. Jalen Milroe hasn't played in an environment like this to this point, and if he's able to overcome that, more power to him. I think if we go position by position here, there are some areas where Auburn is strong and maybe stronger. There's certainly areas where Alabama is stronger. I think that probably this is the game with the best entire group of cornerbacks. Like if you put the cornerbacks for both teams together, it's the best we've seen this season. Right? Don't you love DJ James, Nehemiah Pritchett, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Terry and Arnold? That forced them together a pretty doggone good group of corners.
They're good. No question about it. No question about it. So then it points to, okay, well, how's Auburn going to score?
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about it before. Like, okay, I like Auburn's corners against Alabama's wide receivers. That's the matchup I like the most in this game.
Yeah.
So can Auburn stop the run? If they are forcing Milroe to throw, we'll see. If Auburn can't throw it, are they going to be able to run it and be one-dimensional? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think with the way Auburn's passing attack is operated, those corners aren't going to be on Rivaldo Fairweather or Jay Fair or Javarius Johnson if he's in the slot, unless they do something pretty drastic with how they move things around, which they could. Right. Saban's done it before. So,
and that's where you get into, is it Dallas? Do you get Dallas Turner in some one-on-one type matchups with Rivaldo Fairweather? Can those tackles protect with Chris Braswell coming off of the edge? Do you get a Malachi Moore who is so versatile in the secondary? But you know, if you could get Rivaldo matched up with him in the slot, you like that advantage for Auburn. You know, do we see drag? You know, we haven't seen a lot of drag routes this year. I think we saw Jay Fair early in the season on one. Can you take advantage of their aggressiveness defensively with drag routes? It's a huge part of the 2017 game. It's not been a big part of this offense.
No, it hasn't. And I mean, I guess last week we didn't see hardly anything be a part of this offense because they weren't on the field that much. That's going to have to change, right? They're going to have to run the football. I think Jarquez Hunter has to be a huge part of what they do. But as far as the passing game, Brad, you're right. I think it should start with Rivaldo Fairweather and then go from there and just say, okay, who wants to step up? Who wants to step up and be an Iron Bowl hero? Is it you, Camden Brown? Is it you, Shane Hooks? Is it you, Javarius Johnson? Is it you, Jay Fair? I think Auburn's got the dudes to do it. They just haven't. They just haven't been able to put it all together this season. And boy, wouldn't it be great if they figured out a way to do it when the stage was the biggest.
Yeah. Let me ask you, who do you throw the next 50-50 ball to? Rivaldo's clearly the number one choice there. And you just have to give him the opportunity to make the play. And then if the Alabama player makes the play instead, hey, great, hats off to you. But you have to. Who's next on the list? Who do you throw the next 50-50 ball to if Rivaldo is not an option?
Well, it has to either be Shane Hooks or Cam Brown. And I don't know if I feel way better about one versus the other. I guess if the game was on the line and you had to pick a 50-50 ball to one of those two guys, I think I would say Shane Hooks, just because we've seen him do it. Not efficiently or at a high level, or any level of consistency whatsoever, but we have seen him do it. We haven't really seen Cam Brown do it. So I guess I would go with Hooks. Well, how would you answer that question?
It's a really good question. I almost think I'd go with somebody like Brandon Frazier.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Another big body, and you at least say, look, play basketball, box out, get in position to go make a play.
And we've also seen when Brandon Frazier's number has been called, he has not shied away from it. In fact, he's embraced it. It kind of seems like when the game plan did shift to Cam Brown or Shane Hooks, it's almost like they didn't want it, much like they don't want the football where they drop it. And so I'm okay with that with Brandon Frazier. That'd be wild. Iron Bowl hero Brandon Frazier joined the ranks of, I guess Sean Shivers is probably the most recent Iron Bowl hero. So,
yeah, I'd be all right with that. It is interesting. It'd be a great story if a guy like Javarius Johnson, who's from the state, has a huge game.
Sure.
Or Marcus Harris forces a fumble and recovers it. And, I would love for one of those, just sort of romantically, for one of those in-state guys to have a big play and etch his name in the Iron Bowl lore. It will take likely something like that.
Yeah, or a Jason Jones who grew up as an Alabama fan, grew up in a Bama household. That would be, what a great moment that'd be for him.
Or a DJ James from Mobile. Didn't start at Auburn, came back. I would love that. What if we saw Robbie Ashford? Just what if, given a really special package within the offense, and he comes in and, scores a couple of rushing touchdowns in the game and catches everybody by surprise and is a big part of an upset win. Wouldn't that be a great story?
Be a great moment. Robbie had a pretty solid game against Alabama a year ago. So, yeah, maybe there's some merit to that. I'm there with you.
Yeah,
I'm there with you. Okay. Let's get into our buy-sell segment. And, of course, that's brought to you by our buddy Ross Kilpatrick of Exit Realty Anchor South, serving the Auburn area with locations in Auburn, Lake Martin, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. From Auburn to Lake Martin to the Emerald Coast of Florida, contact Ross Kilpatrick with Exit Realty Anchor South for all of your real estate needs. Call him 334-402-0028. Brad, we talked about this in stat time earlier in the week. Turnovers, I think, are going to be crucial in this game. If Auburn's going to pull this off, they've got to win the turnover battle. So, you buying or selling? Auburn forces a turnover in the Iron Bowl.
Yes. Yep. I think they'll put some exotic pressure on Jalen Milroe, and they will force him to make a questionable decision throwing the ball. And I think we see the return of Jalen Simpson to the interception column. I think Jalen gets one in the game.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I
think I'm buying that too.
Answer.
That is specific. The last time we did that, I said Rivaldo touchdown, and it worked out. So
yes, it did.
Let's will it into existence. Jalen, congratulations on your interception. I'm buying that too. I'm not going to be as bold as you and predict something specific, but I just got a feeling that it's going to happen. I think the game plan that Ron Roberts is going to put together is going to be a lot of fun. I really do. I've got a lot of faith in it.
Well, and as we said the other day, to have success, we saw it with Mississippi State last night. The reason Mississippi State was in the Egg Bowl is because its defense played out of its mind.
Right.
I think it starts with you're not going to outscore Alabama 55-52. It's not going to be that kind of game. If Auburn wins the game, both teams are probably under 20, and it's just a slugfest.
And I hope it happens. All right. Too. You buying or selling? Black Friday shopping is worth it.
It's better now. I drove through downtown on the way in this morning just to see Toomer's before all the toilet paper, and one last time before the toilet paper. And I saw people waiting in line. I saw people, lines all the way down College Street waiting at these outdoor boutiques, and it's great. I love it. I love it for the local businesses, and love that so many people do it. I don't know, man. You got a lot of time to buy Christmas gifts for people. It doesn't have to, I don't know that it's worth it to go through all of that for me on one specific day.
Yeah. My thing is I don't want to have to hide the gift in my house from my family members for that long too.
Yeah. So when you wait till the last minute, it's simply pragmatic. It's so you're not having to hide it afterwards. It's more work to hide it.
When I order it, I ship it to my parents' house.
Uh-huh.
And I text my mom. I'm like, hey, this will be here in a few days. Just put it in the closet or something.
Gotcha.
So,
smart. Boy, that's smart. You're playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers.
Yep. And we got a large gift for my daughter, or both of my daughters. They're going to share it. And it's literally she's still at the age where we can just kind of keep it in a big cardboard box and she just won't ask about it. So that's clutch, but In 2 years, we probably can't do that. So
you got him a pony? So sweet of you to get him a pony, Zach.
And it's crazy. The pony came in a cardboard box and it's staying in there.
I assume there are holes in the box, Zach.
No,
they're going to starve.
Every now and then you'll hear it make a sound, and the girls will be like, "What was that one?" No clue, baby. Yeah, no clue.
Yeah.
Buy or sell. Jarquez Hunter gets double-digit carries in the Iron Bowl.
Oh, that's the easiest buy. Absolutely buy. Yes, buy. And
we would have bought that. We would have bought that a week ago as well.
Didn't we do that last week in buy sell? And I said barely last week, but it was for a different reason. I thought Auburn was going to get a big lead last week and not have to overly tax Jarquez. Didn't know it was going to turn out the way that it did. Yeah, I would buy that he gets 20 in this game. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And maybe I'm just trying to will that into existence. Maybe I'm just
I'm sure Hugh Freeze is too. I'm sure Hugh Freeze would love to get it to him 20 times.
Yeah.
Rivaldo Fairweather is Auburn's most likely offensive player to be the Iron Bowl hero this year. You buying or selling?
That's tough because I think if Jarquez carries 20 plus times, maybe Rivaldo's the most decorated Iron Bowl hero in the game. I think you're going to have to force feed him and let him make. So I think the catches that he gets will be challenging catches, and it's a very impressive performance. So yeah, I'll buy that. I like that.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think this offensive game plan needs to be all about Rivaldo Fairweather. So I'm buying it. All right, you hinted at this earlier. Robbie Ashford, does he play in the Iron Bowl? Are you buying or selling? Robbie Ashford gets a few snaps on Saturday.
I buy it. I think he's been missing from the game when it's been in the balance, and I think there's reasons for that. I mean, I think you're establishing identity and tempo. I think this game allows you, though, to go back to what you saw a little more at the beginning of the year, which is red zone packages or special situations that are understood. It's decidedly not rotating quarterbacks. It's a specific, we know when we get to this spot in the field, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Or this situation in the game, we're doing that. And again, being from Hoover, growing up around this game, it's so special for him. And I think it's, again, maybe I'm romanticizing it a little bit too much, but I think he gets a chance to make something special happen.
Yeah, I think I'm selling it. I think we would have seen him in other situations over the last few games if that was still part of the offense. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Because I think Robbie has a skill set that can help Auburn beat Alabama. And also the personal reasons, like you just said. I think that'd be awesome. Awesome. All right, so that is our...
That's probably the best way to look at it, too. You're looking at it from an actual game plan schematic standpoint. I'm over here with like rainbows and unicorns and just being all sunny with it. So that's good.
I love rainbows and unicorns. Serving, and I also love Ross Kilpatrick because he just gets you houses. Like, I don't know how he does it, but you should get you a house. Serving the Auburn area locations in Auburn, Lake Martin, Fort Walton Beach. Hit up our buddy, Ross Kilpatrick at Exit Realty Anchor South. Just call 334-402-0028. His office is located at 1922 Professional Circle Suite 202 over in Auburn. And thank you, Ross, to sponsoring Buy Sell this season here at Village Vice.
Can I add one more to Buy Sell?
Yeah.
Okay. Auburn gets 3 sacks of Jalen Milroe in the game. Do you buy or sell that?
Selling it.
You don't think so?
I'm calling Ross. I'm saying, put this up for sale right now.
Gotcha. Ooh.
You must be buying it.
I'm buying it. Yeah. I just think that the pressures are going to be exotic and they're going to be different. And I think the environment plays in a little bit. And I think between the trio of Asante, McLeod, and Falk, and that says nothing of Marcus Harris, who could push it
Sure.
Yeah, I think they get 3. I think they better get 3. If Auburn doesn't get 3, it's a long day because their offense is able to do a whole lot more if they're not facing pressure.
Yeah, I'm not anticipating this game being close, Brad. I'm just not.
Gotcha.
So that could be how we're approaching it differently.
So I can't get you on that train.
Look, I want to hop on the train.
I know.
I really do. I really, really do. But the more I watch Alabama,
Yeah.
The more I really think about these matchups, it's just there's not a lot that points in Auburn's favor.
All right.
On Saturday.
I understand. I do.
Yeah.
So let's get into the Village Vice 6-pack then and talk about it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to give you three games. Then we're going to talk about Manscaped. And then I'm going to give you the other 3. Okay? How's that? How's that for plotting the content like that?
Let's do it.
Keeping the viewers in suspense. Let's start with a game that's actually Friday night. I wish this game was in Corvallis because I think it'd be much closer in Corvallis. Number 16, Oregon State is a 14-point underdog. Number 6, Oregon. Ducks trying to get into the playoff, trying to win Bo Nix at Heisman. Ducks are 14-point favorites at home. Any chance, rivalry game, any chance this game's close because of Oregon State's defense?
I think there is a chance. Absolutely. I think Oregon State's a really good football team, and the fact that they're in a situation where they might lose 2 in a row, I mean, that'd be pretty eye-opening and a bit surprising, but when you look at it, they're against Washington and Oregon, 2 of the better teams in college football. I don't think anybody would blame them, but I still think Oregon wins that. I think that spread is that high for a reason. Like you said, if this was in Corvallis, I think I'm talking about it a little bit different, much like we talked about it when they hosted Washington last week. But yeah, I'm taking Bo Nix. I'm taking Oregon. I think it's closer than 14, but I am taking Oregon.
Here's a fun question. If Oregon State, who, if they lose tonight, will finish 8-4, if they played in the SEC, and let's don't go game by game, just an average SEC schedule, what would their record have been this year in the SEC?
Probably be about the same.
About the same.
Yeah,
about 4-4, which is what they would finish in. Yeah, or I guess they finished 5-4.
Yeah, 4-4, 5-3. Sure.
Oregon will finish 11-1 in the regular season with a win in this game tonight. What would they have finished against an average SEC schedule?
Probably about the same. Probably about. And some of this depends on, like, do they play Alabama and Georgia? Do they just play one of them? So, I mean, a lot of that's kind of, depends on who they play, but I think it'd be about the same. Yeah.
Okay.
Oregon's a great football team.
If Oregon played Georgia today, who wins?
Georgia.
If Oregon played Alabama today, who wins?
Alabama.
If Oregon played LSU today, who wins?
That's a close one. I think that's where it gets a little close. I would probably say Oregon, but I think that's a pretty close game.
If Oregon played, last one, if Oregon played Tennessee today, who wins?
Oregon.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
You disagree with any of that?
Oregon, Alabama would be highly intriguing for me to watch. Bo Nix against Alabama as a 5th year.
Be awesome.
With that offensive line.
There's a chance we get it. There's a chance we get it. If they both keep winning, there's a chance we get it.
I know it. So, all right, let's move on. The game in Ann Arbor. First time Michigan has been favored against Ohio State in over a decade. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Michigan. Wow. Go Blue, a 3.5-point favorite in Ann Arbor. What do you think?
I think it's Michigan, and I would take this up to a touchdown.
Yeah,
I think Michigan wins this handedly. I don't know how Ohio State beats them. Like, I don't see the matchup where they win because I love Ohio State's wide receivers. I don't necessarily love the guy who's getting it to them consistently. Yeah. So give me Michigan.
Yeah, that Michigan offensive line's nasty. It's just nasty. And Blake Corum is the most underrated running back in the country, I think.
Well said.
All right, if Michigan played a standard SEC schedule, right? Because if they win this game, they're going to finish 12-0. What would their record be against a standard SEC schedule?
I think they beat everyone but Georgia.
Okay. So if I run that same exercise that I just did with Oregon, Georgia's the only team that gets them.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Cool. I agree. I think Michigan wins the game. I think they win it. I like, I'm in step with you. I think a touchdown or more.
Which wins?
Here's one that hurts a little bit to put on this list. Jack State goes to Las Cruces to play New Mexico State, and Jack State is a 3-point favorite. How would you feel if the Gamecocks go into Las Cruces and beat New Mexico State a week after New Mexico State beats Auburn?
Be brutal. That'd be brutal. I mean, it's already a terrible loss. Just to make it worse, why not? Why not just kick a dude while he's down? But I'm taking New Mexico State. They have sold me on their ability to score points. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens in that one. That's a good find by you.
And they don't just score points either, but they keep high-powered offenses and fast-paced offenses off the field. Jack State is statistically the fastest team in Division I football. They run plays faster than anybody else.
New Mexico State's the lowest. We learned that the hard way.
Exactly. So you've got a complete clash, an extreme clash of styles.
Yeah.
I think Jack State wins the game. I do. I think they go in and win it. I think it's hard for New Mexico State to come off of beating Auburn and come back to play Jack State and get up to play the same kind of game. So
I get it.
All right.
I get it.
Zach, I got to talk about Manscaped here. Merry Ballsmas from our friends over at Manscaped. Yeah, that's right. Holidays are approaching, but what if I told you that the celebrations are starting a little bit early this year? Turns out the perfect gift does exist, and who else can bring it down your chimney besides the leaders in below-the-waist grooming? Go to manscaped.com, and you're going to save money, plus you're going to get free shipping. There's a Black Friday sale going on now through Cyber Monday at manscaped.com. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Body Trimmer and the Weed Whacker 2.0 Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer. They all feature the proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate presence. You know what I mean? Plus, both are waterproof, so there's no issue clearing out the snow in your driveway, Zach. And, of course, after you've groomed the candy cane, it's time to make sure you don't smell like a reindeer. And the way you do that is with the Crop Soother Aftershave Lotion and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafe Ball Deodorant. Once they touch your sack, Zach, you'll never go back. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code VICE. Got to use promo code VICE, V-I-C-E. Get free shipping plus a big discount. All at manscaped.com. You're welcome, everybody.
That may have been the best one yet.
With the Village. I think so, too. Moving on with the Village Vice six-pack. Number 5, Florida State is at Florida. Noles are a 6.5-point favorite, according to our friends at mybookie.ag. Quarterback concerns for Florida State. Florida getting, less than a touchdown underdog. What do you think here?
I'm going with FSU, and I'm running to the bank with Florida State. Sure, there's quarterback questions at Florida State, but there's quarterback questions at Florida too. And I like the rest of the roster for FSU way more than the one in Gainesville. So this is an easy one for me. I'm going with Florida State.
All right. I'm going to call for chaos and pandemonium within the playoff rankings. Actually, it doesn't. It actually makes it a little bit easier because I think it drops Florida State out of the discussion altogether completely. I think Florida gets a huge win. They've played fairly well against some teams, and they've had a shot in the third quarter. But I think this is it. I think this is the one where they get over the hump. They get the big-time win, and they make things confusing in Gainesville because there's a lot of unrest around Billy Napier right now. But with a win, that'll soothe some of that for a while.
Be a big win.
Yeah.
Be a big win for him.
Yeah. All right. Number 24, Clemson is at South Carolina. The Tigers are 7.5-point favorites, lest we forget what happened last year when South Carolina went in and dominated the game. This year, do they make it 2 in a row this time at home?
I don't think so. I think Clemson's the better football team. I haven't been too impressed with what South Carolina's done this season, and they were kind of an off-season darling in the SEC. A lot of people expected a ton out of South Carolina, and that hasn't happened, and they're losing a lot this year. Yeah. So we'll see how they approach this offseason. I imagine they'll be very busy in the portal, but South Carolina can't be happy with how the season's gone because I'm sure they believed what all the other people were saying because you want to, right? They put in all the effort. It just didn't really turn into a whole lot of production on the field. So they're going to want it. They're going to want it. But I think Clemson's hearing the same stuff about their head coach and about how they've performed in a pretty weak ACC. So I'm going to go with Clemson here.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think a lot of the reason people were high on South Carolina is specifically because of what they did to Clemson in this game last year. They closed the season well and, you win a bowl game. But specifically because they handled Clemson the way they did. I think it's a very different conversation in the offseason going forward because I don't think they win this game at home. Give me Clemson and the 7.5. All right, finally, it's number 8 Alabama at Auburn. Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points for a game at Jordan-Hare Stadium. The last time that look, 15, they won by 16. But there was a bogus, like Auburn got hit with 30 yards of penalties on a bogus late hit call when the game was a one-score game in the fourth quarter. So I put an asterisk by that.
Okay.
And I don't really care how you react to that. Hi to all the Alabama fans that are watching and commenting and saying all the stuff in the comment. That's fine. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. I put an asterisk by that. The other games at home have been close since 2011. And I think this one will be too. And I like Auburn. You know what I'm going to do. There's no drama in this whatsoever. Right. Auburn finds a way. They get a turnover or two. The defense plays out of its mind, and the offense finds a way to outscore Alabama in a low-scoring game. Silly, like 16-14 or something crazy like that.
That'd be insane. That would be an insane environment for sure. I think Alabama wins big, Brad. I think this is a 35-13 type game in favor of the Crimson Tide. So I'll take Alabama.
I think you're wearing the right color shirt for that pick today, Zach. Let me just tell you.
Yeah. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
But you're going to be there, and you're going to be loud as all get out.
It's my wife's first Iron Bowl. She's like, I can't wait to see if it lives up to the hype. I'm like, okay, babe.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. It's gonna.
Hope so.
We'll be here
if it goes the way you're predicting. That'll be great. That'll be awesome.
We'll be here Sunday to talk about it either way.
That's right. That's right. Whether we're happy or sad, we will be here.
That's right.
Brad, I think that about does it for today's show.
It does. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Enjoy the Iron Bowl. And remember, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.